Hey, what's up everybody? Landan with LMR.com. We got a little casual video for you today. We're gonna be changing the oil in this 2022 Mustang GT. So the steps we're gonna show today and the procedure that we're gonna talk about is gonna be applicable for all 2018 to 2023 Mustang GTs with the Gen 3 Coyote engine, as well as the 2019 Bullitt and the 2021 to 2023 Mach 1 Mustangs. Now, as far as your oil viscosity and your oil filter goes, we do have oil change kits on the website, LMR.com. I'll leave a link down in the description for you. That way you can check these out. There was a viscosity change early in the 2020 model year. Ford switched from 5W20 to 5W30. So just look at your oil cap, put the recommended oil in your engine of what it calls for. I'm not gonna sit here, we're not gonna go down the rabbit hole of why we think maybe 5W30 is better than 5W20, vice versa. Like I said, not gonna get into all that. We're gonna use Motorcraft oil, which is what's in our oil change kit. And then this is a synthetic blend. And then the Motorcraft FL-500s oil filter. What you don't see here is obviously supplies. You'll see me use that as we progress through the procedure, such as inexpensive microfiber towels. I like those a little bit better than paper towels because paper towels, they tend to lint. So I don't really deal with paper towels. I like inexpensive microfiber towels, to wipe certain areas down. Maybe some all-purpose cleaner, if you want to do some cleaning while you have everything in the air. And then something like a forma funnel. You can use aluminum foil or you can use cardboard to kind of position underneath the oil filter. Whenever you loosen your oil filter, that oil will run down the forma funnel, the foil, or the cardboard into your drain pan or bucket, and you don't just dump oil all over the K-member and then the surrounding area. We already have the car situated on the lift, so we're just gonna go up with it. Okay, so on the Gen 3 Coyotes 2018 to 23, they've got this plastic drain plug. It's 120-degree rotation. So we're gonna go ahead and position our drain pan or bucket. We've got this fancy thing here in the shop with like the splash guard or stuff like that on it. But these can be a little tricky to remove. So you may have to get in there with like some pliers or something like that just to kind of work it by that notch in the oil pan. Make sure you have your drain pan positioned, and then you can kind of just leave it rest there, let it kind of drain out a little slow if you want. Or you can just go ahead and let her flow. Okay, so on the drain plug, these are pretty inexpensive. If you feel like you want to replace yours at every oil change, you can. If that's what's right in your head, go for it. But what I typically do is I usually clean them up pretty good, get all the dirt and foreign material off, and just inspect your O-ring. If it looks like it's deformed, it's flattened out, if there's a tear in it, definitely go ahead and replace this whole thing. Like I said, they're fairly inexpensive. Typically when I replace them is if the O-ring's gone bad, or maybe the car has some miles on it or something like that. I'll just spend the money and buy a new one. So we're just gonna wipe this down with some brake clean. And by the way, you want to use good quality brake clean. Spend some good money on brake clean. It's kind of that way with anything in life, I guess you could say. But you don't want brake clean that melts melts plastic. I'm not saying that this would melt with crappy brake clean, but I've seen where harsh brake clean can mess up some things. All right, so we have our drain plug all cleaned up, and I don't know if you can see it down in there, but you can see open and close. Kind of fairly obvious for this, counterclockwise to remove it, and then clockwise to reinstall it. All right, so typically here you can wait until this kind of just slows to a drip. Here it's still kind of running out to an extent. It all depends on, kind of what you're doing and if you're pressed for time. But I feel like most of you're probably in the garage just relaxing, changing your oil. So while this is doing this, I usually find something to, wipe down, clean, got my music going, whatever. So we'll go ahead and wait, maybe another couple minutes until this starts to kind of slow to a drip. All right, so we've slowed to a drip. I usually like to kind of work quick here. Maybe catch a little bit of the oil as it drips with my towel. Find the position the drain plug needs to be in, and you're just gonna rotate it back to 120 degrees until you hear it click. And then from there, you can go back in with your microfiber towel and some brake clean and kind of just wipe up any oil that may have pushed out whenever you reinstall the drain plug. All right, so now we'll go ahead and zip over here to the oil filter. We do have a little lower closeout tray that we have to remove, but looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4 7mm fasteners. Go ahead and zip all these out. The front of this closeout tray is held in place, so all you have to do is just pull down. But there's your clips here at the front of the little lower closeout tray that's holding that in the K-member. And then there's the rearward clip. So before I position my former funnel, my foil, or my cardboard, and even my drain pan, I like to come in here and go ahead and get it loosened up. That way I'm not sitting there fighting it with something in the way. So with your cardboard, what you're gonna have to do, because most of this is, you know, has some structure to it, but I usually like roll it up. And then all we'll do, and you may have to cut it to fit, which we're going to cut this down. But all we're really needing here is a deflection device to deflect this down into your drain pan or bucket. So I like that, we're good to go. So I'm gonna come reach over kind of the top section here of the K-member where the your tie rod and your control arms are. Loosen it a little bit, let the oil run out. And whenever I remove it from the oil filter adapter on the engine, I kind of like to let it still run down my deflection device instead of just, you know, coming down with it, because it still has oil in it. And once it kind of slows to just a light run, I kind of just work it down and set it in my drain pan. All right, so here we are on the bench. Got our FL-500s oil filter. What I like to do, I don't necessarily shoot compressed air down in here, but I may just give it one of these numbers, you know, just to flush out any possible debris that may be down in the oil filter. And then I always make sure that my O-ring is clean. If you have to just take a little bit of brake clean on your microfiber towel and wipe that down, you can. It's always good to pre-soak these. I usually fill them up about halfway, given that the oil filter kind of sits at a 45-degree angle. We can still install it onto the oil filter adapter on the engine, you know, without a whole bunch of oil running out from when we pre-soaked the filter media. Another thing that a lot of people do, they'll lubricate this O-ring. The Ford Workshop manual actually tells you not to lubricate the oil filter O-ring. I always do, because I go hand tight on any engine typically that doesn't necessarily require torque specs, although Ford does give a torque spec for these. It's 44 inch-pounds, and then you rotate an additional 180 degrees. So for those of you that like torque specs, there you go. And while we're doing this, the oil is still kind of dripping out of our oil filter adapter on the engine. So kind of just eyeball this halfway. I kind of, you know, maybe give it one of these numbers. And then nothing crazy, but just a light film of oil there on the O-ring seal. Okay, so since there's still oil around the oil filter adapter, I usually take a clean microfiber towel, place it on the oil filter adapter, remove my deflection device, and then kind of get my drain pan or bucket out of the way. And then while I get ready to go get the new oil filter, I'll kind of just position my microfiber towel right here, maybe on a harness or something like that, because at this point, you know, you're not gonna get a lot of oil run out. And then before you go on with your oil filter, you just wanna make sure that this mating surface here on the oil filter adapter is nice and clean. You don't want any foreign material or debris or dirt or anything like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and position our new filter into place. Towel still in position to catch any little last drip. Make sure you get it threaded on there. And because of the angle, sometimes you gotta kind of work it a little bit. All right, we're good to go. Get this last little drip, and then we'll spin it down. Okay. All right, so with my one hand, now granted everybody's strength is gonna be a little bit different. I understand that. I usually go until I kind of start to struggle. with my dominant hand, which is my right hand. Okay, so what I always like to do before I sign off from underneath, I always physically put my hands back on the drain plug, make sure it's tight, give it one last visual inspection, and then I always take a look at my oil filter and visually check that off as well in my head, and then we can put our lower closeout tray back on. So this here, opposite of removal, you position those frontward little hooks first. Bring this up, you'll see the location here in the K-member for the rear clip. That'll hold your tray into place. Always start your screws by hand first and then run them down. Don't have a torque spec on these, but what I like to tell folks, you just go until the floating washer makes contact with the tray. You don't have to crank on these or anything like that. If you're going to use an impact like I am, set it on the lowest setting if you have it. That's all you need. Okay, so we actually just put a whole bunch of parts on this car. Vortec kit, long tube headers, oil pump gears, crank sprocket, the whole 9 yards. The owner of the car now is running a breather that's installs into the factory location on the valve cover for the oil fill location. So for this particular car, we're gonna have to pull the engine cover. But for those of you that are not running this breather that occupies the location of the valve cover for the oil fill tube, you'll have an oil fill cap right here that you can just rotate counterclockwise, and then you can use a funnel to put some oil back in the engine. This is pretty simple. Just use a little flathead screwdriver, you remove your covers. What's going to be holding that engine cover on, 10mm nuts, you'll want to use a deep socket. You kind of just want to give it a gentle pull. For whatever reason, the intake cover on these cars, the grommets, boy, they like to stay attached. And then his little deal here, it just rotates counterclockwise to remove it. Okay, clean funnel. And I don't think I mentioned this prior, but this is 10 quarts on the Gen 3 Coyotes, 2.5 gallons for better reference. If you want to let this run all the way out till it slows to a drip, go ahead. But if you were to add all this up, it's not going to be worth your time. Okay, so that was quart 1, this is quart 2. We're going to go ahead and fast forward this because I think y'all get the point here, and then we'll pick back up with reinstalling the breather back in the valve cover. Okay, so the engine cover is not on it, obviously, but I went ahead and reinstalled his oil fill tube back into the passenger side valve cover. That way you can kind of get some sort of visual of what it's going to look like, which y'all are going to know what it already looks like anyway, because you're going to be sitting here staring at your darn car thinking, well, there's the oil fill tube, and then here's my cap that I need to remove to put my oil back into the engine. And if you have to remove this because you want to put a breather on it or something like that, you just go counterclockwise, comes right out. So what we'll do now, we'll reinstall his breather and put his engine cover back on, and we'll close it out. If you're reinstalling your engine cover, same rules apply. Just run these retaining nuts down till they're snug. Don't get all crazy. All right, so once you finish your oil change, you will have to hop inside the car and then go into the cluster and reset the oil life. To do so, you don't have to start the engine, so keep your foot off of the brake pedal. Keys obviously have to be inside the car, and go ahead and push the engine start stop button. We're working with a car that has the digital cluster, but for those of you that do not have the digital cluster, the steps and of course the menu selections will be very, very similar. So down here on the right hand side of the steering wheel, you're going to see 2 gears. Go ahead and select that button, and then you're going to navigate with your arrows to advanced settings. Click OK, and then you're going to navigate to vehicle. Click OK again, oil life reset was already previously selected, but if it isn't, just use your arrows until you find oil life reset, click OK, and then you'll follow the on-screen instructions. So we're just gonna hold OK to reset. And you can back out of your menu, or back out of the menu, you're good to go. All right, everybody, so that's gonna wrap up the oil change on a Generation 3 Coyote engine. Again, that falls under the 2018 to 2023 model year. Mustang GTs, 2019 Bullitt, and of course the 2021 to 2023 Mach 1 Mustangs. FL-500s oil filter, and then 10 quarts of oil, whether it be the 520 or the 530, because again, Ford switched it early in the 2020 model year. And then the links to those oil change kits will be available down for you in the description. If you find value in what we do, like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on notifications, and then until we see you in the next one, y'all know what to do for all things S550 Mustang. Keep it right here with the real enthusiasts, LMR.com.